Latin America, from her picturesque Costa Rican mountain ranges to her tropical Cuban shores, has sat at the entrance to the Western Hemisphere since Columbus set sail. Amidst unparalleled fertile fields and breathtaking landscapes, Latin America has been known by many to be held together for generations by her strong family and social ties. Struggling to compete in the world marketplace, some of its nations have emerged to a place of international recognition. Nevertheless, in the last few decades, Latin America has experienced a dramatic shift in values, due in part to the influence of the entertainment industry and the humanistic philosophies of our day. Many nations have declined to new levels of crime, social revolution, drug abuse, open prostitution, and abject poverty. Though held in bondage for many years through religious tradition and witchcraft, there is hope on the horizon. Joshua and Carolina Abbott with Every Nation World Missions are reaching out in a way that is unique to world missions. Latin American youth make up a staggering 60% of the population. That is why the Abbotts with Every Nation Latin America are dedicated to reaching the youth, establishing campus ministries, and planting churches. Active for the last 8 years in missions work, the Abbotts with Every Nation Ministries are committed to developing strong national Christian leaders who are grounded in solid biblical training and equipped to reach the nations for our Lord Jesus Christ. It has been well documented that reaching the campuses of Latin America is crucial. These same areas are where the drug lords, socialists, and purveyors of postmodern relativism actively attempt to recruit and influence students who represent the future Hugo Chávez's, Fidel Castro's, and Che Guevara's of their countries. 95% of those will be the future policy makers and leaders of society presently study on the high school and university campuses. Therefore, our ministry objective is to win the lost at any cost, building faithful disciples and sending trained leaders into the battle for the 21st century. To accomplish this goal, the schools, universities, barrios, and even rural areas are being targeted for evangelistic outreach, discipleship, and the birthing of new churches, challenging tens of thousands of young people to live a truly victorious life through Jesus Christ. The open doors in the public schools and universities are incredible. Many of these campuses were once known for their overt operations of terrorist and communist groups, but now, by the power of God, many of the students have surrendered their lives to the revolutionary of revolutionaries, Jesus Christ. Another aspect of the outreach is to take the gospel to hard-to-reach places, serving the indigenous people with practical help and medical attention while using the Jesus film to share the gospel. Some of these locations can only be reached by the use of canoes, four-wheel drive jeeps, and even mules. How exciting to know that for many, the Jesus film will be the first film that they will ever see in their entire lives. The time to reach the youth is now. Studies show that 19 of every 20 people who become Christian do so before they reach the age of 25. After 25, only 1 in every 10,000 becomes Christian. That is why it's been said, if we change the campus, we can change the world. Every Nation Ministries currently has churches in Costa Rica, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and is currently planting a church in Venezuela and believing God to send teams into Mexico in the near future. You too can be part of reaching Latin America for Christ.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I realize that the Great Commission is not an option to be considered, but a commandment to be obeyed. William Carey, the father of modern-day missions, said there is a mine, a gold mine out there. It's a mine of souls. And I'm willing to go into that mine if you're willing to hold the ropes. Carolina and I, in the same way, we're willing to go into that mine if there's others that are willing to stand behind us and hold the ropes while we go in there and harvest the souls. There are people in this world that have never heard the gospel. There's people in Latin America and in Venezuela right now that don't know the Jesus of the Bible. Romans chapter 10 tells us that as many as call on the name of our Lord will be saved. It goes on to say, but how will they call on whom they've not heard? And how will they hear unless there's a preacher? And how will they preach unless they're sent? We'd like to ask you to prayerfully consider partnering with us to reach the nations of the world. Thank you, and may God bless you.